Good morning, dear young minds. Welcome back to biology session. How are you all? Right. In previous session, we have discussed importance of transpiration pull. How bulk amount of water, minerals, nutrients translocated to over several meters height in case of tall trees. So, what is cohesion? What is adhesion? What is tensile strength? Okay. The total topic was completed. In today topic continuation, transpiration and photosynthesis a compromise. Transpiration, photosynthesis a compromise. That means what? There is a association or connection between transpiration and photosynthesis. How and why? Means, as all of you know, plant release excess amount of water into surroundings in the form of vapor during daytime in presence of sunlight, called transpiration. On the other hand, what happened? Plant it create pulling effect in xylem, vessels and tracheids. Due to pulling effect, plant pick up bulk amount of water and minerals from soil through their root system. In such a way, plant pick up bulk amount of water, minerals, nutrients, ions, everything and transport to all parts of the plant through xylem vessels and xylem tracheids. Clear? At the same time, photosynthesis also require water. You recall once previous chapter, photosynthesis, light reaction. Light reaction include two steps: non-cyclic photophosphorylation and cyclic photophosphorylation. In non-cyclic photophosphorylation, water molecule split into protons, electrons and oxygen. For that purpose, water is essential for photosynthesis. And how plant absorb that much water for photosynthesis means based on transpiration concept. Hence, because of transpiration only plant pick up bulk amount of water. Not only photosynthesis, even other metabolic activities like respiration, digestion, translocation, this, enzyme actions, hormone actions, all chemical reactions require water. Without water, no organism and no cell perform their respective functions. Clear? Next, when plant pick up bulk amount of water, all plant parts like cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, leaves, fruits, flowers, each and every part of the plant maintain their particular shape, structure by keeping them turgid. By keeping them turgid, it gives a specific shape to the plant. That is also importance of transpiration. Because of transpiration, this all happen in plant body. Clear? Understood now? Next, plants are of three kinds: C3 plants and C4 plants, as I told in previous class. C3 plants and C4 plants. C3 plants, example, majority of dicot plants and very few monocot plants. While C4 plants, example, maize, sugarcane, sorghum, etc. C4 plants are quite efficient than C3 plants. Reason: in C4 pathway, two different types of cells together involved in C4 pathway: mesophyll cell and bundle sheath cell. So, C4 plants maintain carbon dioxide concentration continuously. That means the availability of carbon dioxide is always high in C4 plants. Clear? Both mesophyll cell and bundle sheath cell fix carbon dioxide. Hence, photorespiration is completely absent in C4 plants. Moreover, C4 plants pick up more carbon dioxide and prepare more food, that means rich amount of food, than to that of C3 plants. But in C3 plants, sometimes photorespiration occur. Okay, photorespiration is common in C3 plants due to changes in carbon dioxide concentration. Clear? Next, C3 plants pick up less amount of carbon dioxide and produce less amount of glucose or starch. Next, C4 plants tolerate all adverse conditions like water stress conditions, temperature conditions, etc. However, C3 plants never tolerate water stress conditions and high temperature conditions. In C4 plants, normal temperature approximately, as I told previously, 30 to 40 degrees Celsius temperature. In case of C3 plants, average temperature approximately about 25 degrees Celsius to 30 degree Celsius. So 25 to 30 optimum temperature for C3 plants. However, 30 to 40 degrees Celsius optimum temperature for C4 plants. Hence, when you think in all directions, in any direction, C4 plant is so better than C3 plants. Clear? Understood now? That is about transpiration and photosynthesis, a compromise. General concept. After completion of watching video, the same paragraph lines read in NCERT. Enough. Next, uptake and transport. Uptake and transport of nutrients. Uptake and transport of nutrients or ions. Ions. Okay. As I told in the beginning of this lesson, diffusion and osmosis, there already we have discussed. Plant pickup means root system absorb water and ions. Absorption of water is passive process, whereas absorption of ion is active process. Of course, some ions passively also enter into root hair through epidermal cells. Hence, absorption of ion is both active process and a passive process. The same statement as it is mentioned in NCERT. If you want, check it once. Okay, go through once diagrammatic representation for your clear understands. Root system, main root, lateral root, root hair, okay, soil particles, soil particle. Root hair pick up water, root hair to lateral root, lateral root to main root, main root to stem, stem to all branches. Okay, but in case of ions like potassium ions, chloride ions, sodium ions, etc., absorption of ion by two ways, actively and passively. Both active and passive. Active process and passive process. Important. Clear? And which part of the root absorb ions means region of elongation. Region of elongation. Okay, this is the region of elongation. Region of elongation. Clear? Region of elongation absorb bulk amount of ions from the region of lower concentration to the region of higher concentration based on osmosis principle. Osmosis principle. Clear? Because ions concentration is low in soil than to that of cytoplasm of the root cells. Cytoplasm of the root cells. Hence, based on osmosis principle, movement of ions takes place from the region of lower concentration to the region of higher concentration against concentration gradient. Against current concentration gradient. That would require energy in the form of ATP. That requires ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Clear? But not all ions absorbed by active process. Some ions passively enter into root hair through epidermal cells passively without requirement of ATP. Hence, one clear sentence mentioned in NCERT, absorption of ions by root is either active process or passive process or both. Understood now? Either active process or passive process or both. That's why I wrote here. Clear? But absorption of water is 100% purely based on passive process because it doesn't require any metabolic energy in the form of ATP. Clear? Then both water and ions transfer to vessels, xylem vessels, xylem tracheids, from there to stem, main stem to subbranch, next to leaf, fruit, flower, bark, bud. Each and every part of the plant body pick up bulk amount of water, mineral ions, everything. That is known as uptake and transport of ions. General topic, very easy topic. But you remember one point, don't forget, absorption of water done by root hair and absorption of ions done by elongation region. Elongation region of the root. That is important for NEET objective exam. Clear? Don't confuse. Next. Root endodermis. It is root endodermis. Root endodermis. Dicot root. Proteins, membrane proteins. Membrane proteins. These membrane proteins act as control points. Control points. Look here. So first root hair to lateral root to main root. If you observe transverse section of main root consists of several tissues. First epidermis, below epidermis cortex, below cortex endodermis. Endodermis also called innermost layer of the cortex. Innermost layer of the cortex. These topics already covered in previous chapter, anatomy of flowering plants. You once recall, remember. Clear? In endodermis is made up of membrane proteins called transmembrane proteins. Okay, these transmembrane proteins allow water. Transmembrane proteins, this is the internal structure of root I am telling here. Clear? Transmembrane proteins allow water across membrane because these membrane proteins act as control points. How much amount of water and how much amount of ions required by the plant, that much substances, that much quantity only allowed by transmembrane proteins. Hence, in endodermis, membrane proteins act as control points. Important. They act as control points. Okay. Next, this is xylem vessel. Xylem. xylem vessel. So this water molecule, both ions and water molecules enter into xylem vessels. Then xylem vessel translocated to all parts of the aerial parts of the plant. In such a way, endodermis transmembrane proteins act as control points. It adjusts how much amount of minerals, nutrients, water required by the plant. That much amount only allow for circulation, allow for translocation. That's all. Clear? That is about uptake and transport of ions. Right? Read the same point in NCERT paragraph lines. Next, translocation of mineral ions. Translocation of mineral ions. Like phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, sulfur, magnesium, manganese, molybdenum, etc. This is all remobilized. Whereas calcium, very important, calcium is not remobilized. Very important NEET objective question. Very important. Because calcium is structural element. It is structural element. It is structural element. It won't relieve from cell. But other ions such as phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, sulfur, magnesium, manganese, molybdenum, iron, rest of the all ions remobilize from older plant parts to younger growing parts. You know, senescence. What is senescence? Green color leaf turn into yellow or brown, then dry and drop off. That means aging of leaf. Aging of leaf is known as senescence. Before leaf drop off, whatever nutrients, ions available in plant, that means particular leaf, this and all remobilize. That means withdraw and transfer to other growing young parts of the plant. In such a way, phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, sulfur, magnesium, manganese, rest of the all elements remobilize from older parts to younger parts of the plant. Okay, but in case of calcium, it is a structural element, very important. I put here star mark. Remember, it is a structural element. It is not remobilized from the cell. Okay, it is not withdrawn from the cell. It is remain fixed inside the cell. One very important NEET objective question. Clear? Next, in such a way, xylem vessels and tracheids translocate all types of micronutrients, macronutrients, rest of the all ions transfer to all parts of the plant. That's all. That is known as translocation of mineral ions. General concept. Very easy concept. Clear? Next to phloem translocation. Phloem transport. Flow of flow from source to sink, source to sink. Phloem transport, flow from source to sink. General concept. The general concept. As all of you know, phloem sieve tubes, because phloem a type of complex tissue, phloem consists of four components, namely phloem fibers, companion cells, sieve tubes, and phloem parenchyma. Phloem parenchyma, out of which phloem fibers are dead. Phloem fibers, also called bast fibers, they became dead. Except bast fibers, rest of the all components are living. Companion cells, sieve tubes, and parenchyma are living. Here, phloem sieve tube play a crucial role in translocation of food from source to sink. That is important. From source to sink. Source means leaf. That means the area where food is prepared, synthesizing, called source. Sink means other storage part of the plant. Except leaf, rest of the all plant parts acts as sink. They store food material. Suppose some plants store food in roots, some plants store food in stems, some plants in fruits, some plants in buds, flowers, etc. Hence, phloem sieve tube pick up bulk amount of food in the form of sucrose and translocate it to all other storage part of the plant. Clear? Once go through simple diagrammatic representation. Sieve tube, phloem sieve tube. Xylem vessel, xylem vessel, it is the source. From source, food enters. Food enter into sieve tube. Food particle. This is sieve tube. Xylem vessel. There is a connection between phloem sieve tube and xylem vessels. Okay. Bidirection. Bidirection. Unidirection. Look here, for it actually this diagram not there in NCERT. For your understands, I drawn rough diagram. Phloem sieve tube, xylem vessels. It is source. Source equals to leaf. Source in the sense leaf. As I told just now, phloem sieve tube pick up food from source in the form of sucrose. In the form of sucrose. This is sucrose. One main point, all plants prepare food in the form of glucose. All plants, lower living plants, higher living plants, all plants prepare or synthesize food in the form of glucose. First point. Second point, all plants store food in the form of starch. Starch. Clear? Next, third point, all plants translocate food in the form of sucrose. All plants translocate food in the form of sucrose. These three words very important. Glucose, starch and sucrose. Three words very important. Glucose, starch and sucrose. Understood now? Are you getting my point? All plants prepare food in the form of glucose. Due to continuous accumulation of glucose, glucose convert into starch. Then starch temporarily store in stroma of the chloroplast. During translocation, starch again reconvert into sucrose. In the form of sucrose, food translocated through phloem sieve tubes. Same mechanism, same concept. See, I wrote here sucrose. Sucrose enter sieve tubes. Movement of food is bidirection or multi-direction. Bidirection or multi-direction. Because source to tip of the shoot, source to tip of the root, and source to fruit, source to flower, source to bud. That means translocation of food is multi-direction. But here I am showing bidirection. First arrow mark, second arrow mark. Actually, direction of the food is multi-direction. But direction of water always unidirection. Remember one important and neat relevant point. Because movement of water always takes place from root to shoot, but not from shoot to root, reverse. Clear? Okay. So phloem sieve tube pick up bulk amount of sucrose. Here sucrose load into sieve tubes. It is a type of active process. The entry of sucrose into sieve tube is active process. It requires metabolic energy in the form of ATP. It is an active process. One important need bit. Active process, ATP. ATP required. Okay. Loading, unloading. Loading, unloading. For loading of the food and unloading of the food, metabolic energy is required by the phloem sieve tubes. So translocation of food from source to sink is always active process. It is always active process. There is connection between phloem sieve tube and xylem vessels. Through connection, small amount of water added to sieve tubes. Because for the smooth movement of sucrose, a little bit of water required. Hence, little bit of water added to phloem sieve tubes. This water creates smooth movement of sucrose through phloem sieve tube. Suppose, general example, when we swallow food, while we eating food, we first chew it, then we swallow. So, while moving food through esophagus, we drink little amount of water. So, that water creates smooth movement of food through esophagus. The same point applicable for sieve tubes. For the smooth movement of sucrose, little bit of water required. Hence, there is a connection between xylem vessel and phloem sieve tube. Hence, small amount of water added. That helps in smooth and fast movement of sucrose through phloem sieve tube in all directions. That's all. That is known as phloem transport, flow from source to sink. Source to sink. Source means leaf. Sink means any other storage part of the plant, like stem, root, fruit, flower, bud, etc. Understood now? Right? Next. You remember three words. Don't confuse and don't remember. Last concept, the pressure flow or mass flow hypothesis. Pressure flow or mass flow. Hypothesis. Pressure flow or mass flow hypothesis, also called Munch. A famous scientist, Munch, not Munch, Munch. A famous scientist Munch proposed this mechanism. Hence, it is also termed as Munch mass flow hypothesis or Munch pressure flow hypothesis. Okay, once we go through mechanism. All of you draw diagram. It's very important. Mechanism very important. Clear? This sieve tube, phloem sieve tube. Phloem sieve tube with NCERT book diagram only. NCERT book diagram. Source, sucrose solution, source example leaf, okay. It is sucrose, small buds. There is small gap that represent root part and shoot part. It is root. It is stem. Okay, stem. So small gap represent differences between root and shoot. Bud. Food direction is multi-direction. Okay, look here. Here, sucrose enter sieve tube. Sucrose enter sieve tube. Water follows osmosis. Clear? It's very important. Here, sucrose leave sieve tube. Sucrose leave sieve tube. Water follows osmosis. Water follows by osmosis. Okay. All of you draw this diagram. Important. Mechanism also important. Sometimes question paper setter directly prepare questions based on diagrammatic representation. Pressure flow hypothesis or mass flow hypothesis. A famous scientist Munch first explained the total mechanism, how and where to where movement of food takes place, the total mechanism. Okay, it is source. Source example leaf. During daytime in presence of sunlight, all plants prepare food. Just now I told all plants prepare food in the form of glucose and store food in the form of starch and translocate food in the form of sucrose. During translocation, starch convert into sucrose. This is sucrose. Okay, sucrose enters sieve tube. Sucrose enter sieve tube. How? By active process. Active process. Active process. Very important. It requires ATP in the form of. It requires energy in the form of ATP. So by taking energy, sugars. Sugar means sucrose. Sugar enters sieve tube, but water follows by osmosis. That means what? Along with the sugar, little amount of water also enter into sieve tube. Okay. It is bark. Sieve tube. Etc. Sieve tube. Okay. So bulk amount of sugar enters sieve tube. Water follows by osmosis. It is an active process. So due to continuous accumulation of sugar concentration gradually increase in sieve tubes. That create pressure. Due to pressure, bulk amount of sugar translocated to all other parts of the plant. All other parts of the plant. Towards tip of the root, towards tip of the shoot, towards branches, fruits, flowers, everything. So translocation of food is multi-direction. In NCERT book given bidirection, not only bidirection, multi-direction is correct answer. Okay, right. And here water molecule play a crucial role in smooth movement of sucrose through phloem sieve tubes. At the sink means storage point. At sink what happened? Sucrose leave sieve tubes, but water follows by osmosis. Sucrose concentration is high in sieve tubes than to that of surrounding sink. Hence, according to diffusion principle, movement of food takes place from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. In such a way, sucrose leave sieve tube. Sucrose means sugar, that's all. And water follows osmosis. Movement of water takes place from the region of higher water potential to the region of lower water potential, that is known as osmosis. In such a way, phloem sieve tube play a pivotal role, a crucial role in conduction of food from source to sink in all other parts of the plant. Okay, so food direction is bidirection or multi-direction. Water movement only unidirection. That's all. That is about pressure flow or mass flow hypothesis. Scientist name important. Active transport very important. For loading, unloading, both are active process. Loading process, unloading process, both are active. Both require metabolic energy in the form of ATP. That's all. This is the last topic from transport in plants. Now this chapter also completed. Next video we will start new chapter, plant growth regulators. Plant growth regulators. After completion of that, very last chapter, mineral nutrition. Mineral nutrition. Out of 7 chapters, now I completed 5 chapters. What are 5 chapters? Anatomy of flowering plants, biomolecules, photosynthesis, okay, transport in plants, and one more. What is one more? Respiration. 5 chapters completed. Last 2 chapters, mineral nutrition and plant growth and development. Next video I will start plant growth and development. At last, mineral nutrition. All of you watch this video properly, understand the concept. After completion of watching video, immediately read the same concept in our NCERT or material, then practice subjective questions. Thank you very much. Bye, see you, and prepare well.